I helped to cure my client's misophonia in one session using a technique called belief coding. His GP had said to him that he would have this for the rest of his life and that there was no cure. And for him, it was making him really unhappy because every time he heard a noisy eater or just someone eating noisily, even his wife, this would really kind of frustrate him and he would become annoyed with it and the noise would just get to him. And obviously, this was affecting his relationship with his wife and with other people as well. And he didn't want this and he just wanted it to stop. So using the techniques within belief coding, we was able to discover that he hadn't always had misophonia, that he remembers it starting when he was young. So for me, that means that because he didn't always have it, something triggered it. Something made him aware and conscious of noisy eaters, and that stirred up an emotion inside of him. So using the techniques again in belief coding, we was able to pinpoint that there was a trapped emotion of unhappiness and he'd absorbed this unhappiness from someone else. And we found out that this unhappiness was connected to a memory of when he was 3 years old. Now, obviously, when you're 3 years old, it's hard to remember memories from when you was 3 years old. But we've got little techniques again in belief coding to allow memories to come up. And I asked him to close his eyes and just connect with this feeling of unhappiness. And he could see himself in the kitchen, and his dad was there, and his dad was unhappy, and he was happy with him when he was 3 years old, and he was unhappy with his mum as well. And so we went back to this memory and we spoke to his 3-year-old self, and we spoke to him, and his 3-year-old self is called his reflection. And we spoke to his reflection and we asked him, what does he need to feel better? Does he need someone or something to happen? And what we did, we gave his little 3-year-old self everything that he needed to feel better. We wanted to give him love, we wanted him to feel safe, and we wanted to take him away from that situation so that he did feel safe again. And we give him that everything that he needed to feel 10 out of 10 amazing. So what that did, that reprogrammed the mind, and it completed the trauma cycle and allowed him to be released from the past. We then found another memory that was connected as well. And in this memory, he was blaming himself for not being able to protect his mum from his dad. And again, we asked him what he needed in this memory, his younger self, and we gave him everything that he needed. So this is doing some work on your inner child, because a little part of you is trapped in this moment and holding on to these negative emotions. And so we gave him everything he needed. We made him feel 10 out of 10 amazing. And afterwards, when we spoke about these memories, and we actually connected the dots, because guess what? It was his dad that was the noisy eater. And so because he didn't have a good relationship with his dad, and felt that, and he blamed himself for not being able to protect his mum, then he was frustrated. And anytime he heard a noisy eater when he was young, it would remind him of his dad, and then reminded him how he wasn't able to protect his mum. And as the years went on, this developed, but the memory just faded away. But he ended up with this misophonia. And so then over time, he just felt that he'd always had it and couldn't remember where it came from. So using the techniques in this 2-hour session, we was able to cure him and understand where it came from, understand what the trigger was, and get rid of it. And so if this is something that you think that you would like to know more about, and if it could work for you, I know definitely it could work for you. It's a 2-hour session. We can do this via Zoom as well, like I did with my client. Feel free to get in touch and or drop a comment down below to ask me any questions.